So earlier this year and last year, I did a review for a new Watchmen adult animated film. Two movies that did a pretty good job of replicating Alan Moore's iconic comic, but both films still found time to take inspiration from Zachary Edward Snyder, a man known for his visuals and slow motion over everything else. In 2009, Zack directed a film that has since been lauded as one of the greatest superhero films of all time, The Watchmen. The ultimate cut being well over 3 hours long. This beast of a movie put Zack Snyder on the map and in the short list to direct more superhero films, and that's when he was offered the chance to direct the superhero film. He was afforded the chance to direct a Superman movie and become the godfather to what would ultimately fail in the DCEU. But why is that? Why did Man of Steel fail when Watchmen succeeded? What could have been the difference and what could have been? Let's start with The Watchmen. I think the major reason why it worked with Zack Snyder's radical revision is because it's a one-shot. At the time, although it's considered a groundbreaking piece of work, there's not 75 years of back-page mythos to go with the characters. They're definitely allegories, but for the most part, these characters are free to be used as Zack saw fit. He could take liberties and no one would fight it. For example, Night Owl and Silk Spectre 2 are far more brutal in the film than they are in the comic, but we hear no complaints. Additionally, Zack upped the game. In the comic, there was only one giant squid in New York. In the movie, there were multiple nuclear explosions that pointed the finger at Dr. Manhattan. All these feel like significant changes, but since there was only the source material to compare it to, we called Zack a genius and a pioneer. Now, let's jump to my world. To be clear, I did like Man of Steel. I enjoy it and I have rewatched it. I'm a DC fanboy. But it would be remiss if I didn't flag DC when they made mistakes. Man of Steel is a piece of art, but it also broke a lot of mythos of Superman. Superman ended Zod, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. The destruction of Metropolis, the lack of charisma from the most helpful or hopeful superhero, the lack of color and consistent gray and a color-muted world. Superman isn't expressive as he could be. And now that we know, with hindsight, Henry Cavill is a very charismatic man. He should have been allowed to cut loose and be the Clark Kent we all need. A nerd who trips over his own feet in the public, but is actually a borderline god. And that's actually another thing. Zack made Superman so powerful, he nerfed all the other DC heroes. I understand Superman is supposed to be this all-powerful being, but you can change that and make him into who you want him to be. You can nerf his power scale. It always felt like there was a lack of agency when Superman was around. There was a general lack of regard for human life when Superman and Zod had a fight that resulted in mass casualties. Now, I will grant you, it is possible Clark didn't know any better, but that shouldn't be the Superman that we have. To him, every life is precious, so why would... I mean, just look at this. It's horrifying. Too much changed too fast. Hell, even look at the color correction of Man of Steel. It shows that there was color in that suit. The desaturation was just turned up to 11. And maybe the chief issue was this guy. No. This guy. Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy was arguably the greatest superhero trilogy of all time, but also had a negative impact on a lot of other film projects. Studios learning the wrong lesson. Instead of trusting the artist and standing back, they learned that audiences love dark things, no color, and brooding, which is the wrong lesson. When they gave Superman the Batman treatment, we got dark and edgy instead of what should have been a slam dunk start to a new cinematic universe that should have been able to rival Marvel. Also, not to get too unprofessional, I don't think Zack actually loved the characters of Superman and Batman. I think he loved the comics, The Dark Knight Rises, and wanted to create a world. The issue is, liking a version of the character versus understanding the mythos of a character is like a non-gamer saying GTA is just about shooting and violence, when in actuality, there's a pretty deep storyline going on in GTA 5. And with that, I believe that Zack Snyder, well, didn't get it. Before this dark and brooding Superman is ever supposed to be war-torn, should stand a bright and hopeful man that could smile and see the world for what it could be. A better tomorrow. Heck, if you want to throw Batman into it, Batman isn't a monster. He's a man trying to do better and make Gotham safer. Yes, over time you can build them out to clash, but the basic rule of the story is you can't start at the third act. You need to put up with part 1 and 2. Zack is not the only reason the DCEU failed, but I would argue he is part of it. But what do you think? Let us know down below. We'd really appreciate it. I'll catch you all next time. See you, everybody.